I think the camera looks good now. Oh, right. How is everybody? Everyone can hear me correctly? I know that generally I get the issue that my volume is a little low, so let me just double check on that. It might be a little low. I need to write that down somewhere on how to fix my volume in Windows, because it's always something I have to go look for. Volume mixer, I think. No. Settings? I think. So, yes, there you go. Okay, that should do it, I think. Volume is fine. Oh, okay. I just saw that volume is fine. So I was trying to fix it when there was no need. So, hey, everybody, welcome. I think we're good to go. So yeah, um, May developer update for the Forge. Exciting times. So a huge announcement. Well, not really announcements. But yeah, we're celebrating the Forge's third anniversary, which is huge. I mean, I can't believe that. Like 3 years ago, I was just starting out with this project of mine, and now we're 3 years in, and the Forge being an actual company and with 10 staff and continuously working to improve and add new features and things like that. It's really huge. It's amazing. And it's all thanks to the users, to your trust, to you talking about our features and our services and enjoying them, and uh, telling people rightfully that we are the best Foundry VTT hosting experience that anyone can get. And so thank you everybody for that. Um, and so yeah, it's been 3 years. I still remember. So the official anniversary is May 21st. That was when I released the Forge website publicly for people to access, and it's when we had the subscription model available, because before that it was in beta only. It was only available to my patrons for beta testing, and the only way that you could get access to the services was through Patreon. And May 21st was the official public release, and it switched from the Patreon model to being you go to the website and you subscribe. And I remember it's kind of funny because before hitting that enter key or whatever it was to basically make that switch, I was a little stressed because I remember thinking, well, we have yearly plans. What if we don't last a year? How is that going to work? Like, now I have to commit to building this and keeping the servers running for at least a year. Is that ever going to happen? And I mean, the obvious answer was yes, because I was making a commitment. But I remember having to think about it and being stressed about it. And it felt like such a huge commitment and such a huge promise to tell people by the year, and I'll still be here 1 year from now. And to think about how I was feeling at that time, and now it's been 3 years, and we're going for many, many more years to come for sure. Um, it's it's a big change. It's a bit humbling to kind of see that evolution. Um, And yeah, every year we're continuing to grow. Uh, when we started in 2020, it was just me, basically just doing this little project that I had in mind. And that project, for the cool factor, became a business, and the business grew very fast. And then I started to have people come in helping. Big shout out, by the way, to all those who supported the development early on, who helped with customer support, being on Discord, the moderators basically volunteering to help out, so I could concentrate on the actual code and the services. And eventually more and more people joined, and we're now this company with 10 people on staff. So that's great. Um, and we're becoming more and more professional, because obviously the challenges that things are very different from being one person working on a project versus being a larger team with people working on different parts and needing to make sure that everything is done right, so one doesn't conflict with another person's work and things like that. So, and we're continuing to improve on those processes. I believe in the last month that was actually what we were announcing, is that in the next couple of months we're only going to be concentrating, well, not only, but mostly going to be concentrating on um, setting up our infrastructure for the code, for the tools that we have, and things like that, to make it more professional, more, I hate the word corporate, but yeah, it's kind of like more like enterprise, having tools to do some automation on our side and things like that. So I don't have to do things manually too much anymore. So yeah. Um, for those who aren't aware, the Forge is, bootstrapped company. There's no funding, no external investor or anything like that. Nobody pulling the strings from the shadows or anything of the sort. It's just me, who created this as a project, originally as a hobby, and it became the successful company that it is today. Um, so yeah, we have that complete freedom, thankfully. And what we're going to be doing, actually, I want to show this to you all. If you have not seen it, is that we are launching a contest to celebrate the Forge's third anniversary. Before I get into that, let me just check if there's any messages on the chat that might be worth answering. Yes, Talmaro, I'm the BBEG. Although I'm not evil. I hope not. Well, I guess an evil person wouldn't care if they are evil or not. Yeah, BBGG. So yeah. All right. So we are launching a writing contest for celebrating the Forge's third anniversary. If you have not seen that already, go to our blog. If you don't know where, in the resources, the adventure log, that's our blog, and you'll see the post here about the Forge's third anniversary writing contest. It's just a really fun little contest that we came up with to kind of include the community into something that is fun, because I believe a lot of our users, as DMs, they like to write stories. We all like this, the role play and the collaborative sort of storytelling, right? I mean, we are storytellers at our core. As DMs. And so, you don't need to have done a homebrew campaign. You can just have this idea of, hey, let's make an NPC, let's make a little story, let's make something, fan fiction, whatever you want, as long as it's, centered around the Forge. It could have like a Forge setting, location. It could be a character that's inspired somehow by the Forge. It could be a magic item that looks like the Forge logo. It could be anything that you want. And the idea was actually inspired by two people who did something similar to this. Uh, One did a hidden room in their campaign that was basically the Forge with the Forge logo and everything, and it was kind of like a hint to the Forge there, and there was a magic item as well that was related to all of that. The second one, and a more recent one, was from D20 TV, which is one of the Twitch streamer that we sponsor, by the way, and they love the Forge so much that they created a whole character with side quest, a whole notebook of backstory and things like that, and the character's name is Eunice, but as a female character. My name is Eunice, if you're not aware, so that's kind of the inspiration there. And they wrote this, the ballad of Eunice's Forge, and it's. I'm not a bard, so I'm not going to be singing the ballad, but yeah, it's a whole little song that's really nice and awesome, and I recommend you check it out. We retweeted that very recently if you want to check it out. So this is great, and that's kind of the idea. Whoops, that's kind of the idea behind the contest, right? So you can just write. It could be a song, it could be a stat block, NPC backstory, a location for adventurers to go to, a shop, whatever, just something fun, and you can submit your stories. I believe we have a Reddit post where you can submit it, or no, I think the idea was to actually submit them as posts to our Reddit, and to tweet us. You can see kind of like the terms and conditions and the how to do that, how to submit your entries to the contest. Here you have 2 weeks, I believe. It will be closed on May 31st. Hopefully we get enough entries. Otherwise we might need to extend it, but hopefully not. And then you have 2 prizes. One will be voted by the team on who we like the most, and the second one will be voted on by the community, and you both get a $50 gift card, which is really great. And the gift cards can be used towards your subscription or towards buying content from the bazaar. So yeah, enter the contest, do something, write a little something, have fun most of all. That's the interesting or the important part, rather. And that's about it. That's our writing contest, and I hope to see lots of great ideas, and I hope to see lots of submissions. And I want the competition to be fierce. I want to be able to have as difficult a time as possible to vote on the winner. So please make it so. All right. Let me see. A comment on Twitch, Daniel Anand. You can only join via Twitter. That's a good question. I think if we see the post on our Reddit, I think that would count as well. I don't have a problem with that. I think as long as it's part of our social network, so Twitter or Reddit, I think would work fine. But as long as we know to count your entry, so if it's on our own subreddit, I think that can count without it requiring you to be on Twitter. If you are an anti-Twitter person, yes. All right. And yeah, like Destiny said, you can't necessarily post it on Twitter anyway. So generally, it was more about if you have it on your own blog or somewhere, World Anvil or whatever you want to put it, as long as we get to the link to that content. So the idea was to tweet a link to the writing on Twitter. So that's why it was just a way for us to know where to look for the entries. All right. So here's something that I want to show you. Um, because I have talked about these 3 years of the Forge and the evolution and uh, you know um, more talked about kind of how I was feeling, how it all started and all that. But I want to show you actually. I want to show you the Forge and its evolution. Um, and this is the Forge. This is how the Forge actually started. This is the code on the Forge on February 18th, 2020, the day I made it available to my patrons on Patreon. This is what the Forge website looked like during the beta phase. It was not great. And as you can see, this was one of the first comments I received, is that every time I go to a page, I have to scroll so much, and it was annoying. And then yeah, I need to scroll again. This is the login screen. You can see how awesome this is, right? And I can log in and show you kind of how the site was inside. So yeah, welcome back, and set your game URL here. As you can see, it did not look great. um, my games says I don't have a license. Please link your account with Patreon to validate your Foundry VTT license. Because back then, Foundry was not yet released. You could not buy Foundry. You couldn't have a license. So the only way to check that you had access to Foundry, because it was only available through Patreon, was that you needed to link Patreon with your account in order for us to verify that you were a patron of Foundry VTT, and that gave you this sort of license access to Foundry. And in the same way, you had to be a patron of Kakaroto to get access to the subscription itself. So yeah, that was our site. I remember making the top bar here smaller when you logged in, just to make it so you don't have to scroll as much every time. But yeah, and then let me show you an actual public release day. So May 21st. I just switched servers now, reloading. This is what it looked like. So it's already cleaner, it's already nicer, but it's not that great necessarily either. You can see the old logo that we used before we redid the Forge logo. You can see we called it my table instead of my foundry. This was a photo I've taken of my own table, my dining table with all of my game that was prepped for for a game I wanted to do. That was the default image that we used back then. If you went to my table, I remember it took us a while to decide, do we want to call it my table by what, and then we ended up with my foundry. And so yeah, this was how you would configure it. If you wanted to export, it was just as a menu like that. Table tools like that. Create shared compendium was just this simple thing, but that was a very early tool. Systems and modules installer. Oh, this was not yet available. This was basically the bazaar. The bazaar started as this dialogue. That was it. There was no bazaar tab at the top. You can get it, but the modules installer was just this little dialogue that said, hey, it's not available, but once we do, then anything you install through this thing that was not yet named would be exempt from using your game data quota. My account was this one page like that. We had server region and API keys very early on. That's interesting. Managing subscriptions was horrible. You did change plan, then you had to select. You If you cancel it, it was super complicated. So I'm really glad that we changed that. Um, but yeah, and the assets library. The assets library. This has changed a lot. This is what the assets library looks like. And yeah, you would click here to do that. It's it was nice when there was nothing better. Obviously, I've learned a lot through the last 3 years, but also credit where credit is due. A lot of the nicer design of the website is all due to the new team that I've built in the last couple of years with some really talented people who have an eye for how to build good websites. And that has had a huge influence, of course, on making. I mean, it's not just the influence. They also wrote most of it by implementing the changes needed to make the website work um, and look nicer. And if I refresh again, I just switched to 1 year later. So 1 year later, this one is broken. I know it's broken, but when you loaded your games, it would be like loading and then it would show your game. The site you can see went larger 1 year later. We have the bazaar now. We have access to the bazaar here. Um, I'm not sure if it will load or not. I know that we were depending on an external library for sanitizing HTML to avoid issues, and that library changed and it broke the website, which is why we now don't use like external links to dependencies and things like that. But yeah, so I guess that's broken. The assets library, I think, might be the same. Was it? I'm not sure if it's broken because I remember testing that just yesterday to make sure that things were working. I think maybe it's just very slow. Um, but anyway, you can kind of see the evolution throughout the years of like the website and all that. My account looks a little like this. It changed a little, not too much. I don't know why it's this slow. The setup page, let's see the setup page. So we had the game manager that was supported, so that worked. We switched to the tools at the top instead of on the side. We still had this big area here with your, with the logo and your quotas and basically your name, and it just said, "Are you ready to roll?" But before we moved it to the navigation bar, we still had the old navigation bar as well. There you go. The assets library ended up loading. It was just very slow. So it looks already nicer. It's similar to what we currently have, but not 100%. Obviously, with the new changes from the assets library revamp that we've been doing in the past few months, there's a big difference here. But yeah, this was just 1 year later, and you can see already. Nope, that's not it. You can see already all the changes. So yeah, not much, I guess, in terms of potential features that are very different. We didn't have like the new website design. We didn't have there you go, the bazaar is working now. It looks very similar to what we have right now. So that's the revamp of the bazaar is coming soon. But yeah, the update all slightly different now. And yeah, that was 2021. We didn't have the save points feature. We didn't have the new nav bar. We didn't have the new website design. But functionality wise, I think we had most of the things that we currently have. So yeah, that was That was 2021. That's the evolution. I'll tell you a bit about what we are doing, what we've done in the last month, and then I'll even show you a little preview of what's coming next, and you'll see an even bigger evolution of the Forge. But that's it for the demo of the 2020 beta, 2020 release, and the 2021 website updates. Yeah, we have come a long way, as Fi says in chat. A very long way. I actually even forgot just how bad it looked. And yesterday, as I was just setting up the dev server to have these you know websites working for me to demo, it was I was just so surprised at how it looked. Um, anyway, let's talk about what we've done in the last month, because we've had quite a few enhancements. So from the creator side, we are continuing to do some improvements to the creator dashboard. I'm not going to show it because it does show some financial information of the creators, so I don't want to necessarily do that in case I leak it by accident. But we've improved some of the things like the let me see. I believe we improved the creator page profile, which we've done last time. We added the feature. Now we've improved a bit on it in how things are being displayed and things like that. You can see like the verifying your content here being front and center, less spacing, no framing around the avatar, so like circle avatars don't look as bad, and things like that. Improved with how the display of the banner image was, especially for smaller screens and things like that. So we improved quite a bit of that for the creator profile, as well as the in their dashboard for like searching for their packages and things like that. And we have more things coming really soon that are cool that I don't think we are ready to show quite yet. I was hoping to have a little demo of it for today, but I think we're just not there yet. So I'm going to skip that. Actually, I'm going to just talk about it real quick, but without showing it. So one thing that we are working on is the ability to add tags onto Bazaar packages, and that will allow um, users to be able to search for things that are more appropriate for what they're looking for, and Bazaar creators to create the tags that they need, or like categorize their packages with various tags that make sense. So if you can imagine, like you're running a winter-based campaign and you're looking for a forest in winter, you'd be able to select the tags for that, and it would give you, a forest under the snow or something like that as a map pack. You might be looking for asset packs, like asset tokens, or a map pack for like the battle maps and things like that. You'd be able to just select those tags. And the way we're going to be displaying it is going to be really cool. So I can't wait to show you, probably next month. But I can't show it quite yet because it's not working properly. But yeah, it's coming really soon, and I'm quite excited for that. Before we move further, I want to mention something about FabriCon that we talked about last time. So if you have not seen the alerts concerning FoundryCon, or if you haven't seen us talk about it in the last stream, It's happening. It's going to be on May 19th, 20 and 21st. So that's just in a few days this weekend, basically. So make sure you enter if you want to be part of the festivities. There's plenty of DMs and lots of players, but we still need more. I say we, it's really them. I'm not part of the FoundryCon. We're just sponsors there. Um, but yeah, the organizers would like to have even more players joining and fill in all of those seats for the GM tables. There's um, you know, a lot of free spots still. So I encourage everyone to go check it out. And if you want to go and play, go ahead and play. Yeah, it's an open event. It's free. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, and as a reminder, I mean for the GMs, if GMs that are running their games on FoundryCon will be able to participate in our prize. I believe we have that on the blog as well. FoundryCon, you can check, and there's a loot table, and there are prizes there as well for the GMs. So yeah, there's that. And finally, yeah, thank you, Yana, for the link. We have virtual cookies. Yes, we do. I want a virtual. I actually want a physical cookie too. I'll get to that after the live stream. Apart from that, I wanted to announce something pretty cool that we've been experimenting with. Um, Give me a second here. It is with regards to our Discord. So here is our Discord. Whoops, where is my notes? There you go. So on Discord, you will see the Ask the Bot channel. It's a new channel that we created where we are currently beta testing the Kappa AI bot. So you can see the pinned message here at the top that explains that a bit. I wanted to touch on that, which is really cool. It's an AI bot that was trained on our documentation and that can help answer questions that you might have about using the Forge. And hey, there you go. If I just ask a question. And so yeah, you can just type add Kappa AI, and then you can ask your question, and it will just create a thread in which it will look for the answer for you and answer you, which can be much faster, but also more interesting to get the answer, the fully detailed answer that the bot can give you, than with talking with a human in Forge support or Foundry VTT help, specifically when it, like for example, there's too many people talking at the same time, or if everybody's asleep and you want to get an answer quicker, or just give it a try and see kind of how it responds to you and what kind of answers you can get from the bot. Something also really cool is that if you're not so good in English, you can ask your questions in any language. French, we tried French, we tried Japanese, I believe Phi tried in Afrikaan, and that was it just answered all the questions. It can be a little slow. It says that it's experiencing high traffic right now, but there you go. So yes, you can have more than one world active on the Forge at once through the Game Manager feature, which is available to Storyteller and World Builder subscribers. However, users cannot access more worlds than the number of Foundry license keys on your account at once due to the licensing terms of Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you want both games running simultaneously, you need to add a second Foundry license to your Forge account. Keep in mind that sharing your Foundry VTT license key between two accounts on the Forge platform is not allowed. And then it gives you the "Can I share my Forge account?" thread. So this is a really, really good answer. It's exactly the kind of answer that um, that a human would give you, but you get that extra information that maybe someone might have missed. I'm very happy with this result, and yeah, it's awesome. I like being able to use that uh, to get some of the questions to the users quicker. Eventually, if this works out, if people are happy with it, we might even integrate that with a help icon directly on the website. That you might be able to ask your questions straight from the website without having to go through Discord. Here's the comment faire pour importer mon monde local vers la forge, which is how can I basically import my local game, and it gives me the instructions, which page to go to, which button to click. It tells me everything, even where to find the Foundry folder, etc. It's all in French, and it links me to the documentation for more details. So yeah, it's really cool. Give it a try. Go to Ask the Bot in the support Discord and ask your questions and see how it responds. And if it's not able to respond properly to something, let us know. And I think we can just adjust our documentation and have it retrained to give better answers. Very, very exciting. Um, apart from that, moving on to the next subject here, I want to talk about our server. Give me a second. There you go. Just getting back to to my setup here. We have finished moving all of the users from the DigitalOcean to OVH servers. I mean, even as like previously, when we had those issues a couple of months ago, 3 months ago now. Yeah, things have been relatively stable for the last 3 months. So we finished most of the move, right? There's still a couple of things that are on DigitalOcean, and that's fine. It's not impacting anything. But yeah, like in February, we did the emergency move to OVH for our servers, but the users were still marked as being in the DigitalOcean region. And that caused one side effect, which was that if you went to your save points, it was showing that there were no daily backups happening, which wasn't the case. Now, if you go, you'll be able to get access to all of the daily backups for the last 3 months, basically. And that's great. So this is as a consequence of finally marking all the users as being on the new region, and yeah, that's finally done. So I'm very happy with that. And considering how stable things have been, I think it's been a great result. We did some good work there. Just finalizing things, and we'll be able to continue that move. And also, we moved our Australia region. It was already on OVH, but it was using cloud instances. Now we're using dedicated servers on Australia, and so we finalized that move as well, which went really good. So quite happy with that as well. We'll be doing the Asian region soon. In another good news, we have hired a new DevOps engineer who will start with us in a couple of weeks, and so they'll be on point for doing that region transfer for Asia with us, and we'll be having a more dedicated person just to handle some of that stuff. So I'm really quite happy with that. And so yeah, that's it. We hope to that you continue to enjoy the experience that we aim to deliver, that your games continue to be smooth and without any hiccups, and that's it. Um, and I want to talk about the assets library. So if you haven't been following, whoops. Um, so if you haven't been following, let me see, where are the announcements? The update changelog. So if you haven't seen the recent updates since last time, we have, we've had a few updates, and the assets library, here we've had another big update. So this is what we call internally phase 3 of the assets library revamp, and it had a whole lot of small polishing changes, small updates that I'm sure you'll all enjoy, and I want to show some of it. So you can, for example, hide this, which is really great, especially as you would be on a mobile device, for example, it would be hidden automatically, and it just has better support for smaller screens, So there's that, which is great. If you have videos on your um, on your let me see if I have another screen somewhere. Where is it? Sorry, I can't find it. But yeah, if you have videos, you'll see the preview image here of the video. There's a progress bar now when you move your files around, or if you rename them or things like that. You can also cancel uploads. You can cancel renames. The upload dialog is different. Now there's this very visible drop area. You have the option to unzip files before uploading. Instead of being like two separate browse buttons, two separate upload buttons, and things like that. There's a ton of small improvements, and I would just suggest you go look at the changelog and just see everything that has been done. There's also this thing here that you can search for things with the plus. So if I search for token, and then I don't know, I can search for green. Okay, I don't have something that's green and a token. Is there a table? No. Let me switch to my personal account here, because this one I know for sure that I have there. So I can do token plus fire. So now it's finding this fire elemental token, which is different than if I did token fire, which is it's looking for token fire, But yeah, so you can do like table, no tables? Well, I guess I just have tokens here instead. But yeah, if you use the plus, it will allow you to find to do like a search for multiple tokens at the same time. What else? Let me just check here. Yeah, yeah. It's it's got plenty of small improvements like that. I'll let you check out the changelog to just see all the things that it did. But that's about it for demo that I wanted to show with the phase 3, which I think puts us in a very good state so we can get on to phase 4, which is something I want to show. But before I do that, I want to talk about last month we showed you some of the upcoming features. So I want to do that here as well. But I want to go back to what we did last month, which was that we talked about phase 3 of the assets library, which has now been released. We talked about the ability to delete users from um, if you create a Foundry user, now you have the ability to delete that. So this has been released, as you can see. We have the ability to change to a different language now, so you can switch to French, um, Japanese, German, Spanish, as well as Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. So we have all of that released now. This is a good moment to talk about the fact that these are not fully translated yet, although the work is happening. So, for example, it's only 3% here for the translation of Spanish. It is automatically translated using AI tools, but it's not perfect. We still need people to go and look at the content to make sure that the translation makes sense. We've seen some really funny translations. It's almost 60% for French, which is good, and so we need more of the community to help out with that. So yeah, one funny one that I saw recently was, I think it was for the Brazilian Portuguese, where trial, like start your trial now, it was being translated as, a court trial, like you're being sued. So it was like start the judgments now, which was a funny translation that the someone caught and fixed on Weblate. So thank you for that. And they always make me chuckle when I see translations like that. So yeah, and we also talked last time about the ability to filter your logs, and that has been released as well. I remember showing some things as well. For the updated Bazaar UI, which is still in the works, not yet released. And what I want to show today, which is really, really cool, and I say that mostly because I'm the one who wrote it, so I'm super happy about it. To be honest, I'm more happy about my ability to find the time to write cool stuff that I enjoy doing, than all of the project management and administration work and the other stuff that comes with my job now. But yeah, so the assets library, this is what it looks like, right? I want to show you, however, how the assets library would look like after the update. So you see this little icon now that says share folder, and you see it here as well in the list view. And so let's say here's my personal account, and I'm gonna share, let's say I share my music folder and I give write access to it. Why am I on dark screen? I'll go back to light screen, I'd prefer. So sharing my music folder, write access doesn't expire, and I say Kakaroto's music as the name of my folder. Then I share it, and there you go. My share URL has been copied now. Then if I go here and I add it, then it says the share key has been added to my account. And so here's what happens. If I go, I can do that because this one is already launched. Let's, because I think Destiny is in this world, and I can't launch this world in the new server. I'm going to do the opposite. I am going to do the opposite. I'm going to share a folder from this one into my, what's my shared files here? Right, let's say Forgotten Adventure tokens. I'm going to share those. And I'm going to go to my personal account and add that key, so that then if I go to my account here on like in my game over here, you'll be able to see that I have access to that. So this is the really cool feature is that first of all, you can share folders, specific folders, instead of your entire assets library. Because we used to have that, I mean, we still do. We have the API key manager, which is how you can share access to your assets library with your CodeDM. But it's the entire assets library. Now with this feature, it's specifically about sharing access to one folder. And so here, select my source, and then it's this shared folder from the other account, right? So you can see here, this is, my Kakaroto account, and this is the Forge account, using incognito window here. And so I have access to that, and I can just switch from one to the other. You can see this one was shared read-only without read-write, so I can't upload to it. Whereas, my assets library, I have the ability to upload to it. And I can, create new folder, etc., but not in this one. And yeah, hey, there's my assets from Forgotten Adventures. And the cool thing is I can share any number. So this one I can give read and write access to it. Let's go back here. Let's add that key to my account. And if I refresh the page, then I have Forgotten Adventures here. I have D&D Beyond here. And I have access to these different folders that have been shared from this other account. I can share my own. And so you can see here, this one is read only. I believe this one I gave write access, so I can create new folders. And, so let's create a test folder from my other account, right? And there you go, it created the folder. And now if I go back to here and just refresh, I should see test folder from my other account. So that's just simplifies the whole process of being able to share folders with your friends or co-DMs, or sharing specific a limited access to your assets library and things like that. So that can help with organization, and it can help with also privacy if you don't want a player or a co-DM to have access to content from a different group and things like that. And so that's phase 4. It's not done, obviously. I mean, this works, it's great, but you can't select from within the assets library, only from within Foundry. So that's one thing that we want to change before we make it available to you all. You also don't have, like, if you go to your API key manager, you can only just reset all of the keys. But now that we have named keys, right? So that's something you might have noticed, is that when you share a folder, it asks you for the name of a key, so you can revoke it individually later. So this is a feature that has been asked multiple times before by our users. It's the ability to just go and cancel a specific key instead of resetting all of the keys that have been generated. So this is something that's coming as well, and it's not something we have the UI for, although we do have the capabilities for it. So it's once we have that, along with the source selection from here, then phase 4 might get released. Um, for the SS review. Sorry, let me just drink some water. And and so yeah, that's what's coming, and I'm very excited about it because that's just one portion of a larger plan that I want to implement and have various other things coming out from this feature. Um, and we'll be discussing that once that's available. All right. Um, one more thing. I wanted to talk about the new tax obligation for Australia and Norway. If you are a subscriber from Australia or Norway, you probably already received an email about it. But just in case you missed it, starting June 1st, we will begin collecting sales tax for Australia and Norway. So as usual, sorry. Thank you to all our users for helping us get to this point by uh, making us, a successful business that has these new tax obligations. So yeah. And finally, I will talk briefly about some of the updates on the D&D Beyond integration side, where we have um, uh, done a few updates on that front, and that gives you um, the ability to import subclasses, which was something that was missing before. So if you're, importing Xanatar's Guide to Everything, for example, that just adds subclasses to classes that are part of the basic rules or the PHB, then those would be able to be converted for you and brought along. Um, and in the same way, we had reports of some bugs in the conversion that were fixed, such as the fact that monsters did not have their subtype entered, like an abomination or undead or things like that. So that was missing information, as well as condition immunities. So if a monster had a condition immunity, that was missing, and now it's not. So you'll be able to see those fixes if you just re-import your monster manual or basic rules, player's handbook, whatever. Re-import those, and you'll be able to get that new information there. We've also updated our metadata. We submitted some fixes to the metadata project from Mr. Primate as well, and we've updated all of that so you get the latest information, latest maps, and everything. So that's really good. And that's about it from my side. I will be giving the the mic to Destiny, who will be doing the Bazaar showcase. And as usual, at the end of the showcase, we'll be drawing a random winner for a $20 gift card, which can be used towards your Ford subscription or Bazaar purchase. And I believe to enter, it's Forge 3rd. Is that correct?
Yep.
No. All right. Give me a second to just make this. Let me switch to the Discord scene. And there you go. I believe we're good.
Should be announced. Let me just announce the giveaway. Hang on. How do I do this again?
I'm gonna do it. I think it's with Mubat.
There we go.
I'll go and do that.
All right. Hello, everyone. Today as I do every Forge developer update, we're going to be showcasing quite a bit of stuff. First, let me just play some music to set the mood. Listen to that. Today, we're going to be showcasing 3 packages: Creature Tokens Pack 45 by Forgotten Adventures, Short Themes Volume 1 by Michael Gelfi Studios, Impossible Tiles Set Dungeon 2 by Pierluigi Ramini, also known as Crow, and then finally a free module Drag Upload by Cody Swindrowski. You might recognize him as one of the developers for Foundry VTT.
Yep.
So we're going to start off by showcasing these amazing tokens. I've always been a huge fan of Forgotten Adventures content. They were and are one of the most successful map making Patreons out there. Let me turn down the volume a little, sorry.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I had turned it down earlier and it somehow turned itself back up, so that's fun. They also make one of the most successful token enterprises out there. And they have a successful battle map Patreon, so they have a lot of Patreon success in general, and for good reason. I mean, look at these tokens; they're great top down. They have wonderful design. They feel dynamic. They have the shadows to them. They're perfect for confronting with. Like, look at this: the shadow can overlap people, so you can even have we can unleash the scale ratio, and then suddenly, wow, it's still occupying the same token space, but the shadows going over tokens a bit. You can have tokens, of course, go under or over people, and it just looks so nice and sick. Like you can see here, the Phase Panthers are threatening this young gold dragon here. I love their content. I've been subbed to their $10 tier for years, and they release countless asset packages for every single use case you could possibly imagine on the Bazaar and on their Patreon in general. If you want single packages like this one, you could pick this one up for $4.99, or you could try out. Is there a way to auto select tokens? You can press Alt on the canvas to highlight each and every one of them. You can also tab to tab between tokens you own on the canvas. This is all native vanilla Foundry VTT features. Very useful as a GM, let me tell you. And as I was saying, you can also now obtain this content through their Patreon integration. They have partnered with us with their Patreon integration on the Forge, and if you are subscribed at the appropriate tiers, you now gain access to all of their content on the Forge for free. It does not for their Patreon integration costs, for their Patreon costs. It does not count against your storage to obtain their packages on the Forge. You just have to be at storyteller level or higher and be subscribed on their Patreon at the correct tier. Man, listen to that music. We'll be getting to that in a second. So I cannot more heavily recommend Forgotten Adventures, whether it's through their Patreon or through buying their content on the Forge's Bazaar. So we'll be moving on to discuss the music. So you might hear this music going one by one. That's because this is the Short Themes Volume 1 package by Michael Gelfi Studios. We've showcased his content quite. Is there a way to select the Forgotten Adventures tokens automatically for my monsters? There is not, I'm afraid. However, 5e does natively use their tokens for a lot of the creatures. And, I don't know, it's not really hard to select them. It is a bit of a pain to do it one by one. But, you can see here that, I can just go in and, select random stuff.
I believe Pathfinder has something like that, but I'm not sure what it's how it works exactly. But I think they have a system for automatically selecting, the setting tokens from a premium package, I believe, of art.
Yeah,
it would be nice if something similar was added to D&D 5e for the Forgotten Adventures one. Yeah.
Yeah, The giveaway is not ended yet, Chatty Chat Cat. It would be nice to get that for Forgotten Adventures. I agree, especially since they're going to be taking part, and they just announced this in PaizoCon. They're going to be streaming during it, and so I'd recommend giving their PaizoCon stream a watch. There we go. All right. It seems to be, although the scene just cut out. There we go. Yep. I believe this live stream can hear this music, right, boss? Right. So definitely some good music. I'm a huge fan of it. And as you can see, you can literally buy a package that has themes for any character your party could think of. So, like, if they're having a cool moment, you could start playing their theme. Like, maybe you want to, like, maybe they have an artificer, you can play the artificer theme whenever they're having a good moment. I just love how he has music for every single situation. And if you're ever on the edge about buying his content, you can preview all of his tracks on Bandcamp. So I heavily recommend giving it a listen and considering a purchase. The package is $12 on the Bazaar Marketplace, and it's well worth your time. Uh, the final paid package we'll be reviewing is one you've been looking at the entire time. Not the tokens, not the music tracks here, but the background. You might notice that there's a few dungeon tiles, very good looking ones. This is Dungeon Tile. This is Impossible Tile Set Dungeon 2 by Pierluigi Ramini. Uh, if you're like me, you might sometimes have to improvise or might sometimes be too lazy to put together a full map. Well, in those situations, you can just whip out some dungeon tiles, such as Impossible Tile Set 2. So you can see here that a lot of the tiles already placed are dungeon tiles from this set. For instance, I can move them around, I can rotate them, and they look like they fit together smoothly. I can put down more of them, so like I can put one down here. Doesn't fit quite right, but I could also put it here, and the players would barely notice, especially if I just move it a little. There we go, and suddenly it looks kind of natural. You can even throw in some stuff to help bridge the gap. And all in all, it's just great if you need to throw together something in a hurry. Wait, so if I have their Master Flinner, the D&D 5e Monster Compendium already contains FA art that you can use. You don't need to buy it or anything, it's already there. At least it's there for most monsters. So going on, you can see here that I can just throw together a dungeon quickly if I need one, and suddenly the players have something they can explore. Maybe I could set up some further lighting. You see I threw lighting here in a hurry. I can just go ahead and quickly... One of the beauties of Foundry VTT, as always, is how good the lighting looks. And you'll find that if you set the dungeon dark... Like, let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and turn down the scene a bit in brightness. And we'll go ahead and give this token a bit of vision. So we'll go ahead and set it to have vision. And then vision range 30 feet. Or even better, we can just set it to have 0 and then have dark vision. Suddenly the dungeon is looking a lot more natural, isn't it? You have these nice dynamic walls here. You're exploring around, and you're able to move around, and like it looks like a place your players are actually exploring, and no longer looks like some unnatural cobbled set of tiles. And that's beautiful about Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. for sure. And I think that's the beauty about Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and tabletop RPGs. You don't have to make something perfect. You don't have to make something fit together well. One of the beautiful things about Bazaar packages is that they help you throw together stuff on the fly. They help save you time and they help create beauty that you might not otherwise have. And that's the beauty about tabletop games in general. Like, you might have a piecemeal world with piecemeal prep, but in the end, you're going to have fun. And we hope that our service and the packages we sell can help you have fun. If you want to buy these tile sets, you can buy them for $6.99 on the Bazaar Marketplace. And yeah, that's almost it for the Bazaar Showcase. But I want to show one last thing to the people watching. Yep. Yep. And indeed. So one last thing, and that will be the drag upload. So I hinted at this earlier, and I absolutely adore it. I can't believe I didn't try it sooner. Basically, it's simple as say I'm not quite happy with what I have prepped here. Maybe I want to put an image here quick, like Tactus tokens. Let me just go ahead and drag upload it. So you'll see here, it takes a second to upload. And then I just go ahead and set it to what I want it to be. And suddenly, giving it just a second, I have a new token on the board. And not only that, I have a new NPC. The DDoS Goblins. You might remember these from a few months ago. You have a nice little horde of enemies here, all of a sudden on the canvas, just in a hurry, and you can go ahead and set them up quickly, configure them to what you like. It's another one of those things where, again, it's like quick on the fly preparation. And you can do this for all sorts of things. Like, let me go ahead and drag a Destiny token onto the board here. Give it a second to upload, and then I can set it to a vehicle, actorless, all of this. So maybe I set it to, like, a hazard. Like, I'd like to think I'm pretty hazardous. I'm dangerous. Yep. Maybe I want to throw down a new tile very quickly. I can throw it down and and if it's on the tile layer, it'll automatically be a tile that I can drag around and rotate and stuff, you know? And suddenly Destiny is overwhelming the entire dungeon. Just stuff like that. It's such a neat module that's just so flexible yet so simple, and I adore that. You can even drag audio tracks onto the board to quickly set up ambient music, which I just love. Yeah, it's absolutely one thing I do like about I'm going to mention them Roll20 was how quick uploading images could be made into something on the board. And that was just and with this you get the benefits of that, but in Foundry VTT, which is just awesome. The package is, as I said, free, and it's just called Drag Upload. It works very well. It's very simple. I didn't have to read anything. I just installed and enabled it in the world. And that's it for the Bazaar Showcase. I hope I've livened up your imaginations, and at the very least, I would 100% recommend giving Drag Upload a try, if not checking out and buying the other packages. Thanks for letting me showcase the stuff, Kakarota. Yeah.
Okay, I think it works now. Thank you, Aranziel, for letting me know. Hmm, the camera is also not working. Oh, I think it's whatever crashed earlier. It also crashed the NVIDIA broadcast, so it broke the audio and the camera. I'm reopening NVIDIA broadcast now. So as I was saying, if you have not done so already, you have a few more seconds to enter the giveaway by typing hashtag ForgeThird into the chat, and we'll be drawing the giveaway winner in just a few seconds. I'm waiting for, I think NVIDIA is just, yeah, see? Okay, there you go. Camera is now working, and I believe the audio was already working. All right, cool. So let's do this. Drum roll and go. Topper Harley 70. Topper Harley 70. Are you here to claim your prize? There you go. Congratulations. So Topper Harley 70, you have won the $20 gift card, which you can use towards your Forge subscription or to buy content from the bazaar, such as the packages that we just showcased, or any other package that you might like. And Destiny will be able to send you that gift card link shortly via Twitch. So thank you for participating, and thank you everybody for participating. And maybe next month, in our live stream, you'll be the lucky winners. And yeah, that's it from that. And now we can switch to the Q&A portion. In case there are any questions that you want to ask, we are here to answer them. All right, so that's just Destiny trying to get uh, the gift card uh, to the lucky winner. Yes, says Z Grimshell, to 3 more years. Um, Ooh, am I playing in FoundryCon this weekend? I am not, unfortunately, because I have two other games this week, and it's not part of FoundryCon itself, but I do have a pretty busy weekend. I'm actually, interestingly, tomorrow is going to be my first game of Lancer. Um, the GM is Ranziel, who is one of the Forge staff, and he'll be doing Lancer for us, which sounds really cool. I've been reading up on it, and I'm really excited to try out Lancer system. It's it's going to be fun, that's for sure. It's not robots fight, it's mechas. It's it's a whole other thing. It's not robots. But yeah, very excited. I have Lancer this and tomorrow, I believe, we'll be playing that, and then I have my Pathfinder 2 game on Sunday, and yeah. And Yana will be with us as well, I believe, her first RPG game. So that's gonna be an exciting day tomorrow. Yeah. Any other questions? How about you, KT Land 89? Will you be playing or GMing maybe for FoundryCon this weekend? Alice is missing. Interesting. Alice. That. Oh, I remember Alice is missing. Yeah, I remember reading that. Looks really good. How are the Forge site improvements coming along, specifically the tax system for premium content? It's coming along really nicely. It's I mentioned that earlier, but I didn't showcase it. But we have a pretty good system for the tags. Um, Maybe I can show a little something. Um, Not sure. So we're still in the process of setting that up. But I think I can show something. So it's coming along. I believe we'll probably be able to release the ability for creators to tag their content this week or maybe the next, something like that. And once we do, then they'll be able to set up all of the tags for their content, and we'll then follow that up with a release that lets users search via the tags to be able uh, to access uh, all of that. Wait, why is this not working? Hmm, I am not sure. Doesn't look like it's working, so I don't think I can showcase that. But yeah, basically, um, yeah, it's coming really soon. I mean, we've been working on the bazaar for a long time now. Um, the system for the tags is actually going to be quite interesting because you'll be able to have tags on each package, and then those tags will be um, um, basically uh, in a sort of hierarchy. So you'll be able to have like the genre, then horror, then Halloween special events. You can have per location, winter, summer, things like that, and it's all like in a sort of a tree like structure that you can then select and choose what it is that you want from there, and that's um, that's that basically makes it uh, pretty easy to select exactly what you're looking for and search for the content that you want. And being able to set those tags on the packages, that's pretty much nearly done, I guess. I mean, it's done. We're just kind of polishing that feature. So once we have that, then it's about the search ability and the new categories that I showcased last month. So it's been in the works for a few months. Um, that one will need to be released afterwards because it's no use to release that if the content isn't tagged yet. Um, and I believe we have 1,000 or 1,500 packages already in the marketplace. So we'll need to go in and start tagging those manually uh, before as well. So just to be able to give that ability to users to search for the content. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming rather quickly. I don't want this to take too long. We have been kind of in the design process um, and all of that for a very long time now. I don't want it to take longer than that. Um, but yeah, let me see if I can get. Why is this not working? The demo. Oh, I know why. Yeah, I messed it up yesterday when I was doing the tests for the old website, you know. Um, so let me give me a second. I'll be able to do a very quick demo. It's not what I wanted to demo, but I think I can still show you a little something. All right. Any other questions in the meantime while the dev server is being updated? What class are you in Pathfinder and do you recommend it? Oh, in Pathfinder, I am playing an investigator and I don't know if I would recommend it. It's I really love it, to be honest. I really love it. But it's so different, so special because you have that, device stratagem. Um, it's kind of like Sherlock Holmes, where he can see the fight before it occurs and decides, he knows if he's going uh, uh, to hit before doing the attack. Yeah. So, um, it's really cool because you can then just see if you're going to hit or not, and if you hit, then you decide to do it. Otherwise, you hold your action. What I do get annoyed by it is that when you devise stratagem, it still uses an action. So I'm like, I could have just done my strike um, instead of doing device stratagem. Um, Obviously, the advantage though is that when you know in advance you're going to hit, you can do things like, oh, I'm gonna light my sword on fire because that's an action, and I can only do it once per 10 minutes. And if I do it and I miss, then I would have wasted it. So, something like that. Or if you know you're going to crit, then you can do something about it. Or if you see that, oh, you're like one less to hit the AC, then you can try to demoralize before you attack. So if you know, oh, demoralize did work, so I will then do my attack, things like that. So it's actually pretty cool. But it can also be a little annoying sometimes. All right, I will show the tag system real quick. What we have so far. Um, So this is from our admin interface. So let's say I can add a new tag. I can give it, let's say, the Jean as the parents, and I can say, I don't know, cyberpunk, uh, and then that's the tag basically is what you call the key here. Um, there you go. There's an error because obviously it wasn't ready. But then in the package itself, now I'm just looking at Pathfinder, for example, then you can select your tags and then you can see here, oh, you can say, oh, it's comedy and fantasy, and then you can say it has battle maps. Uh, and so the interesting part is that if you select battle maps, then you're automatically part of map packs and part of content. And so someone that looks for map packs would automatically look for any tag, any package that is also tagged as battle maps or world maps or other miscellaneous maps. Then you can also add custom tag, custom. Well, I said tab, but that's fine. So you can have custom tags in your package, but you can also just select from our existing list of things like that. And you can search here and things like that. So this is kind of how it is. Um, Let me see if I can show you also um, the. I think it was probably here. Maybe. There you go. Create tag system, and then we have our document here, which is what I wanted to show. So this is kind of the tags that we have planned for. So, like being able to search for the type of token art, type of map assets, if it's buildings, terrain, nature, if it's a one-shot adventure, mini campaign, things like that. Um, the genre, what kind of bestiary um, content there might be in a module, location tags, cultural tags as well. So we have quite a list that we've set up, and it's likely going to change anyway, as new content is being submitted to the bazaar, and they would set up their own kind of custom tags or tell us, oh, we want this tag to also exist. I'm thinking, for example, for adventure, we can have levels 1 to 5, levels 5 to 10, levels 10 to 15. Then you'd be able to just search by that tag to find adventures on the bazaar that are specifically for high level adventures, things like that. Um, So yeah, that's the tag system. So it's working. Right now, I need to fill out the predefined tags, which is the missing work. But this works fine. This works great, and this will be coming soon to the um, creators dashboard. Um, all right, back to the Q&A. Let me catch up on messages I missed. Um, yes, you do get a free recall knowledge as part of device regime, which is pretty cool. And you get basically with the investigator, what you're getting is um, um, the ability to use intelligence as your modifier for attacks, which is the neat part. Um, and that gives you the precision strike as well, and that gives you a bunch of other things. Like once you hit someone, you can make it flat-footed for against another one of your allies and things like that. So it has lots of advantages like that. And the nice thing also, if you crit on the recall knowledge, which is free, then you basically get a recall knowledge every round, and if you crit, then you get circumstance bonus for the entire party and things like that. So it's pretty powerful, but it does require you to um, think about your options if you hit or if you miss, and if you crit and things like that, and have plans in place, and to follow clues. So if you figure out that you're about to fight some kind of monster, there's a clue somewhere, then you prepare and you can like pursue the lead, and that gives you free device stratagem, which makes it even more powerful. Um, yeah. So thank you, the Grimshell, for the for the nice words. All right. Any other questions? So I am not seeing any more questions, so we'll call it a day. Thank you all for coming, for watching, for participating, and for asking your questions. And reminder that we have the Forge third anniversary contest going on right now with $100 gift cards on the line, or like two $50 gift cards, to be more precise. So go ahead and participate and give it your best shot, and let's see what you can come up with. Um, and yeah, see you all probably next month with some more, exciting progress and news. Thank you. Bye bye. And yeah, just need to do the closing links to our social because it's a thing we're supposed to do. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff, um, feel free to follow us on our social links that I posted in the chat right now. And that's about it. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.